Hello and welcome back to a Japan tutorial for Hearts of Iron 3. Today we will be starting our war with China while also discussing strategies against China and their ally, as well as our opening moves, our wartime economy, laws, supply, and amphibious invasions, among other topics. But first, before we officially kick off the start of the war, we should do a few things, such as check your units again, to make sure they all have leaders, make sure your units are in position, and make sure you have decent supply at the front. To check the leaders real quick, just again highlight a leader unit, an HQ unit, go to your order of battle, scroll down to the first, here's the theater command. There's a leader in here. Here's first army group. Remember, we put Yamashita in here because army group commanders have a lot of influence and can benefit your units with his skill and his traits. So we put someone with high skill there and several traits. And then we have our army leader, our corps commanders, and each of our divisions have leaders. So basically everything that you think is going to be in combat against China, make sure they have leaders, as well as your naval units. We also have the second army down here, and we have a few corps ready to go. They all have leaders as well. And then make sure that they're in position, which we put them in position last episode. And we have, it looks like, 2 divisions on the front. We have another division here. We have a whole corps here, 6 corps ready to go. Lastly, look at supply. Go to the supply map and make sure that the provinces that you're going to be attacking from have decent supply. You can see down in the bottom right where it says local supply. It tells you how much. Anything that's, above 20 or so is good. And it looks like I've been having a little bit of supply issues down here, and we typically do in these provinces, but these look ready to go. Even that one has 1871. These look pretty darn good. Typically in Japan's war against China, it starts again in July of 1937 by national decision, and we'll get to that in a bit. And we fight China and their ally, Shanxi, which is right here. Typically, we take out Shanxi pretty quickly, and we fight China until we defeat them, until we get more victory point provinces than their national unity. They surrender, and at that point, we typically get the northeast part of China. Basically, this part up here, and I think it runs down like close to down here, close to Wuhan, and then we get a lot of the northeast coast of China. That's typically how it goes, and then they surrender, we occupy that area, and then typically there is a period of a non-aggression pact, peace, for a bit. When that expires, you can declare war on China again and take more. But we're not going to do that. We're going to take China all in one go, and we'll show you how to do that near the end of this video. But we're not going to do 2 wars against China. Again, just 1 war for all of China. And hopefully, we can accomplish that in 3 to 4 months. Now, I did say 3 months last time, but I think it might be more like 4 because, well, I forgot a technology, but it's not going to hurt us that much. Let me show you what I forgot. Go to technology here, land technology right here. Operational level organization. Now, I did mention this in a previous episode, that this is one that you should get, but I failed to research it. Now, with this research, the units will have to wait 24 hours less than before to attack again. So this will delay us some. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. It might go 3.5 to 4 months. Either way, it doesn't matter because we won't be going to war again until sometime in 1941. So we have time here. If you don't get China conquered in 3 months, it's okay. You have plenty of time. I'm just saying it can be done in 3 months if everything's right. Since I forgot that tech, it might take a little bit longer, but it'll still get done. Let's look at the national decisions that begin the war. National decisions, again, you can click on this one, or you can find national decisions under Diplomacy tab. And they're right down here. You have a list of them. Basically, national decisions are ways of getting things going. Now, we can't declare war directly on China right now, I'll show you. I think I mentioned this in the last video. Go to the Neighbors tab, Nationalist China. We can't declare war because our neutrality is too high. Well, the Marco Polo Bridge, look what it does. It lowers our neutrality by 40. And it gives us basically a free declaration of war on China. So, free declaration of war on China lowers our neutrality by 40 so that we can then, after China is conquered, we can start. We don't have to wait. We can immediately declare war on other countries if we want to. Use that national decision or not. You don't have to. But typically people do. As far as the war with China goes, once we click on this, we are at war. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And as you can see, Nationalist China is at war with Japan and Mengkukuo, which is our puppet. And here's the notification that tells us that we selected yes for this national decision, the Marco Polo Bridge incident, where the Japanese and Chinese clashed at this bridge. Negotiations tried to restore order, but events spiraled out of control and it kicked off a war. So there we go. We are now at war with China. Okay, I know you want to get going and smash China, and so do I, but there are a few things that we need to take care of first before we unpause this. And that is, we need to deal with our industrial capacity. As you can see, we're wasting 30 IC. We're going to take a look at that and see what's going on. And then we're going to look at laws, because we can change some laws now. If you look up here, more efficient laws can be enacted, it says. Now, some of these are more efficient and some may not be, depending on how you're playing and what country you're playing in your situation. And we'll go over that, well, right now. All right, the first we're going to look at is service by requirement. Can be enacted as conscription laws. So we'll go down to conscription laws. Right now we're doing a 2-year draft. And because we're now fully at war, we can do service by requirement. And that basically boosts our officer recruitment and our national manpower modifier. Not a huge deal for us, but we'll go ahead and take it anyway. By the way, once you change, if you want to change laws, do you see this little number here, 31 point? That's how much money it costs to enact that law. So let's take this one, service by requirement. And the next one we're going to look at is, well, we're going to skip economic mobilization and mixed industry. We're going to go to specialist training, just to let you know about that one. Now, here's the training laws right now. Basic training is what we've been doing the entire game. I did not change this because look at specialist training. You get more experience for your recruits when you do recruit them, but this is what I'm not happy with as far as playing Japan. Unit recruitment time, it takes longer to recruit your units if you do this. Yes, they get more training, but with Japan and the playthrough that we're doing now, I needed units immediately as soon as possible, and I still do. So I'm not taking this. It's fine. We don't need the starting experience for Japanese units. It's fine. It's better, in my opinion, to get them quickly. We need them, again, we have 16 carriers to build. We need them quickly, so we're not taking that. Next, mixed industry. I'm going to save economic mobilization for last. Mixed industry. Let's go to the industrial policy laws. Now, I could have selected mixed industry from the very beginning. I did not. When you select mixed industry, you do get a boost in supplies and supply throughput. However, these here, consumer goods during wartime, consumer goods during peacetime, you do have to increase your consumer goods a bit if you do select this. So right now, under production, our consumer good needs, now because we're at war, see how it went to 0? I did say that once we go to war, consumer needs will drop. Well, under our current industry law, we don't have to provide anything to consumer goods. If you select mixed industry, you will have to provide 2 or 3 points to consumer goods extra. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can get a little bit better supply and throughput for the cost of a little IC. It's up to you if you want to do this. In the beginning, I felt it wasn't really necessary. I'd rather have a few extra industrial capacity than supply throughput in the beginning because we didn't need supplies. Now we do. I think I'm probably going to take it because it does give you a little, again, it does give you better supply throughput and more supplies. And we are a little low on supplies right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. And go to production, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. See, now our need is now 6.55 instead of 0. Next, total economic mobilization. This is under economic laws. Let's go there. Right now we're on war economy. Total economic mobilization gives us increased industrial capacity, increased resources at the cost of less money. But we have plenty of money now, so let's go ahead and select that as well. Go to our production tab, and as you can see, our consumer good needs dropped to 2.62. That's probably where it's going to stay. It's going to stay around 2 to 3, probably for the rest of this war. Again, we're spending a little bit of IC, and in return, we get increased supply production and throughput. Probably worth it at this point. All right, here is our notifications that we selected mixed industry and total economic mobilization. That's half of what we need to do. Now we need to look at production. Okay, and the reason we need to look at production, again, is because we have 30 extra industrial capacity to use. So what I recommend is get the next 2 carriers right away. There's still going to be Shikaku class carriers, but we need 2 more. Again, we're going to be building about 16 of these, so we need to build them when we can, as soon as we can, as many as we can. So go ahead and add the carrier air groups again. We'll get 2 of them, start production, bring the 2 carriers up to the top. Not sure why this naval base is here. I don't remember purchasing that. I'm going to end the construction. All right, so we got the 4 carriers here, and let's probably work out what we're going to spend. Again, 2.62 on consumer goods. We need to increase our supplies. As you can see, we're almost out. So this says we need 11.27, but I know we need more. I'm going to bump this up to like 30, 35, something like that. Okay, so your queue should look something like this. Your serials up here, carriers, light cruisers, and pretty much the CAGs and everything else. So I'm going to add up. I want to build as much as possible of the naval units. All these carrier air groups and the artillery we can wait on. So I want to add up all this IC here, see how much this comes to, and then that's what we're going to put in for production. All right, I locked it into 90. We're going to come back and look after a day and see if that's enough. It's probably a little too much because I think we're going to need some for upgrades and reinforcements, but we'll just leave it here for now. Okay, and one last thing we need to look at under technology, our distribution of leadership. If you look up here, our officer ratio is 103%, which is good enough, and we're not really producing any others. So I'm going to move this all the way down to 0 and leave it there. If we see this slipping, we can add more later. We have plenty of diplomatic influence, so I'm going to reduce this to, this is 0.2 influence each day. I'm going to make this 0.05. We'll probably have to come back and change that as this goes down. Espionage 33. I don't know if we're losing them or not. I think what I'll do, I'll put research at 20, and I'll bump this up to as high as I can. There we go, right there, and leave it like that. All right, time to begin combat, but first I want to mention a little something about supply, which is why I'm on the supply map mode. By the way, during combat, I generally do stay on the supply map mode because supply is so very important to Hearts of Iron 3, and I like to have supply information readily available while I'm fighting, so I can see which units are in and out of supply, which ones are maybe running a little low. It just helps. Also, another thing you may have noticed, let me go back to the political map mode. These 2 provinces here, there are no troops there. I don't know if you were wondering why, but I'll tell you real quick. Go back to the supply map mode. Do you see these black provinces here? Look at the tooltip down at the bottom right. Cannot be supplied due to lack of infrastructure. That's why we don't have any troops there. There's no infrastructure there. You can't move troops into there. See, if I try to move in there, it gives me the X. You can't move into there unless you construct infrastructure here, which you can do later with the advanced construction engineering technology. But we don't have that right now, so we stay out of these provinces. Just wanted to mention that before we start. Okay, now to begin. Depending on the country that you play, combat can take various forms and different strategies. If you're playing against, if your enemies are weak, like they are here, like Shanxi is very weak, China is not that much better, you can get away with just using one division, attacking at a time from each province, which is what I'm going to do. And the reason I stack 2 divisions here is because, and you got to keep this in mind, when you select a unit and attack with it and the attack proceeds, remember, after the attack, every unit has a cooldown where they have to reorganize before they can attack again. And the cooldown time is determined by this technology here, which we failed to get earlier, but I'm now researching operational level organization. Again, this reduces the delay between attack. So, what I like to do is start with one division, attack, and when they win that combat, immediately send the second division into the same province. Because when they get there, they can immediately attack, whereas this first division will be waiting for the cooldown. This way we can keep combat rolling and not have to wait. Sometimes you'll have to attack with 2 divisions, though. There's nothing, you might not be able to get around that. But when you can, attack with as few divisions as you need so that the others can keep rolling and keep fighting. With that in mind, I'm probably going to take one division. Since these are so weak, we'll have the second division go against their division here. We'll have one of these hit that province, one of these hit that province, one of these divisions hit this province. And again, these will be really quick battles. We'll probably win these within days. And then as soon as they win them, the idle division will move forward. And when they get to this province, they can continue attacking. Basically, that's what you want to do. Continue attacking. Do not have any idle divisions here. Just keep attacking. I'm going to move these down. We got to get 6 corps in position. We're going to move them here to this province. The reason being, remember, we got 6 corps specifically to take out Shanxi quickly. We're going to have them travel down the northern side of this river, hit this province, attack this province, which is Shanxi's capital. Once we take it, they're out of the war. A few other attacks we can make down here. We'll probably have both of these divisions attack here. I was going to have one of these divisions support the attack. Now, again, these divisions are directly attacking this province. So when they win, as soon as the attack is over, they will move into the province. You can also have divisions in other bordering provinces support your attack. That's what we're going to do here. I think we're going to take one of these divisions and you hold down Control, right-click, support attack. After they do this, they're just lending their combat power to this attack. But after it's completed, they stay right here. They don't move. But they still are subject to the cooldown. Next, we'll have these 2 attack this province. We'll probably have one of these support the attack. And let's see how this looks. I'm going to unpause it now and see what our initial battles look like. Okay, as you can see, these little bubbles here, they tell you the progress of your battles. The ones in green are basically, it goes from 0 to 100, so the higher the number, the closer you are to victory. This one's kind of a 50-50 right now, but we will prevail here eventually. It's just going to take longer. Same here. This one's right away, almost immediately. We're going to take this province. I took it off of pause, so I'll demonstrate what I do here. As soon as that one is done, there we go. So as you can see, the battle's over. They're retreating. We're going to move these troops in immediately. I'm going to probably have this one support this attack. And that increased it to 70. There we go. Done. So These troops will move in. One of these, I believe, will move in. The other one was just supporting the attack. There we go. It's just these two that are moving in. The ones that were supporting the attack, they stay put. So, as I was saying, just keep looking for those divisions that aren't doing anything and move them. Now, these battles have already finished, and so again, this unit is moving into this province automatically. I can stop that if I want to. I can highlight this unit and just click right here, and it won't move forward. But I want it to move forward. I also want this one to go with it. And in this province, the idle unit is going to move forward. And they'll get there pretty quick, and when they do, they can just keep on attacking again while this one recovers. It has 160 hours until it can attack again. Now, these two are exiting. We have some Chinese ships. Looks like 2 light cruisers sunk. Let's go there real quick. Yeah, the Chinese are going to try to get out of the blockades, and we will be sinking plenty of their ships. I want to go back here now. So as I was saying, these two are vacating this province, so I want to cover it. I want to move this one here so that they don't advance into this province. And again, we'll just keep going. Just keep finding Chinese and Shanxi troops to attack, and keep your units busy and keep pushing forward. Okay, as you can see, these divisions have made it to the next province, and one of them has still 51 hours. This is the one that initially began the first attack. This is the one that just moved in afterwards, after the battle was over. It's ready to go. So we're going to continue, keep attacking. We're going to take the ones that weren't involved in combat, and they're going to attack again while the other unit recovers. And I think I have one down here. Yes, we'll just keep pushing, keep pushing. Over here we have 2 divisions. These are the ones I finally got out of this province. Oh, now it's got plenty of supply now that they left. We're going to take these 2. I believe let's take them. Actually, there's just an HQ unit here. So I'm going to take one attack here, and it should push out that HQ immediately, which it did. And then we're going to send the next one in there with it. We have one here that's idle. We're going to send that across the river to attack that HQ unit. Should push it immediately. Great. This one is idle. I need to get it moving. 6 Corps is on its way. I'm moving parts of 4th Corps over to this side because I'm a little low on troops over here. I got plenty over here because mostly I'm fighting Shanxi over here, and they're generally weak. So I'm bringing over a couple more divisions just to give us a little bit more strength on this side. Before we go any further, you should probably regularly check your production tab. I just noticed it. See, I set this for 90. It's up to 106. Not sure how all these are kind of changed now. We're going to leave that at 310. Let's see what we're purchasing here. It looks like we got the 2nd Artillery fully funded. It's not really what I wanted, so I can reduce this by 16. Okay, supplies. We are still running quite low on supplies, so I'm going to keep this at 40. There, 40. It says we need 29 to maintain this, so I'm hoping the extra will get our supplies stockpile get it a little higher than that. I'm going to leave the rest on probably upgrades for now, but as the war drags on, I'm going to need to switch over to reinforcements to replace my losses. We got 3 hours until the next day. I'm just going to let it run till the next day, and then look back down here, and it looks like I pretty much nailed what I wanted to buy or produce right now, and what I wanted to wait on production, and this is it. I want all of the naval units being produced. The artillery can wait. We'll need this eventually, but we don't need it right now. Same with the carrier air groups. All right, I have a battle down here I want to highlight real quick. I have both divisions committed to attacking this province across the river. I do have one division that's supporting the attack, but we're still got 59%. I'm going to use a little air power to bump that a little bit. So I have my aircraft over here. Just going to pick one of the ground attack aircraft units, that one there. I have 2 of them. And I'm just going to come over here, right click, ground attack, continuous, and we'll see how quickly that brings that up. They have some Chinese fighters here going after us, but I'm not that concerned. It's only one unit, a terrible leader, and I got a good one here. I don't think I'm going to have any problems, so just going to leave him there. I would bring over my fighters to cover, but they're out of range. These fighters are not that great. They're the Kawasaki Ki-10. That's all I got right now. July 12th now, and I just got an interesting notification that China is storming our beach over here in Naha, and sure enough they are. This is what sometimes they like to try to do. I had submarine patrols and a light cruiser force over here, but that didn't seem to matter, so I'm just going to bring the 4th Navy over here, move over here and see if I can intercept them before they land. It looks like they're fleeing. Yeah, it was right. Well, we intercepted some transports here, and they're fleeing. I'm not sure what happened to the transports over here. Maybe they left. Yeah, they probably left because my battle group got there. So I'll just bring the 4th Navy back to its station and just keep watch for that. July 23rd now, and I broke in just to go over 3 things briefly. We're encircling some Chinese units here, and I think we're going to have them surrender. We're about to begin our attack on the Shanxi capital. I'm going to take all 4 of these divisions and attack and see what that looks like. 32%. Okay, that's going to climb pretty quickly. This division has won its battle here. It is on its way to this province. Once it arrives, it can lend its hand in this attack, but it's going to have to wait about 118 hours. This battle may be over before that. Lastly, this is what this front looks like, but lastly, I wanted to go over one more thing, and that's this right here. This is an invite to faction from Germany. Basically, I'm going to open it, but do not click yes. I'm going to open it. It says, invite to faction. Germany is inviting us to join the Axis. Accepting would mean we closely link the fate of our nation to their side. Do you wish to accept? Now, most players will go ahead and accept. We're going to decline in this playthrough, and I'll tell you why. Because we do not need the Axis to get the objectives that we want. What are our objectives again? I will tell you right now. Go to the political map mode. We do not need the Axis for anything that we do, and by the end of this playthrough, we will occupy nationalist China, all of Siam, Southeast Asia, India, parts of Arabia, Australia, New Zealand, and whatever else we want. And we can all do it without the help of the Axis. That's basically the strategy of this playthrough. If you do select the Axis, then you have to abide by their victory conditions. And we can't see the victory conditions because we're not part of a faction. But again, we don't need them. The point of this playthrough is to do it ourselves. So, and this will continue to pop up. Germany will continue throughout the game to send this to you. Do not accept. All right, 6 Corps just occupied the capital of Shanxi. Look at that supply there. And so we're going to have to wait till the end of the day here, and then it should give us our notification. There we go. Emperor, Japan annexed Shanxi, which is now part of our country. If you look at the Diplo map, there it is. It's all part of Japan. And, well, we have to continue. We have to now get all of these forces that we were using against Shanxi and get them down here to the border of China as quickly as possible. Okay, a few more things real quick. Notice when I highlight this unit, the red dotted line to its HQ, but when I highlight this one, it's green. Well, the red dotted line means that it's out of communication range, so this unit does not get any of the benefits of this leader's perks. So you want to keep your HQ units in range of your units. which I have failed to do here, but we're going to remedy that here real quick. In order to move them quickly, I'm sure I went over this, again, just hold down Control, click, and move by strategic redeployment. It's faster. Next, take a look at your production tab again. Just make sure your settings are all accurate and reflect what you're doing and what you're wanting. Okay, so our supply need went up, but it looks like our stockpile has grown a little bit. This is good. And we're contributing a little bit to upgrades. Also good. Lastly, I wanted to take a real quick look at intelligence and diplomacy again. Let's go look at the USA, and yep, our party is still growing, now 25% in popularity. Above the Republican Party, Democratic Party 37%, looking good. Soviet Union, our party, ROA 25%, very good. And, yeah, we should really look at China and how close they are to surrendering. Here we go. And it looks like it's still about the same. Surrender progress is 35%. We haven't captured any major cities in a while. U.S. relations is 160. Soviet 35, still growing. I'm going to just offer a few more trades and get back to the map. Just occurred to me that since we have the opportunity to reorganize our forces as we push into China, this is what I did to my divisions. I put numbers, I'll go to the order of battle real quick so you can see it more clearly. For each corps, for each division in the first corps, I put a little number 1 in front of the name of the division. Same with the second corps, same with the third. So because I like to keep them together, I don't want one division from 5th Corps over here and then one over here. It makes it hard to have your leaders effectively cover that. You want them to kind of keep them close. So when I highlight them, so I can instantly tell which corps they belong to, instead of like in this group, I'd have to, if I highlight them all, I can't see unless I have the numbers here. So then I know. So I'm trying to keep them all together, and as we move them down south, just something that might help you out. August 17th now, and we have a few things to discuss. We've pretty much moved and reorganized our units. This is 5th Corps over here on the left flank. 4th Corps is here. 3rd Corps, they were delayed a little bit by these Chinese units that we had surrounded, but they're making their way down to the front. Here is 2nd Corps. Actually, this is, 2nd Corps. 6th Corps is, where is 6th Corps? I think that's their leader. 6th Corps is sitting right here. Second Corps here, and 1st Corps here holding the line. Now, what's interesting is, you see this huge gap in the line here. Well, that's what 6th Corps here is going to exploit. We're going to move 6th Corps through this gap and hopefully take this, I think this is a victory, province right here. So we're 3 points. By the way, we should probably look at their victory provinces that we're going to be taking here shortly. This one here, probably 1 point. Again, this one's 3 points. We're right next to this town here, Jinan, which is 1 point. We're going to do a naval invasion here shortly. This is 2 points here. And then we got others down here that we're probably likely going to have to take. This one, plus the capital and a few others on the coast. That's basically our target right now, is we need to take this, and a few of these, and that should maybe Wuhan, we'll see, and that should be enough to force surrender. Second thing I want to discuss is we have another national decision available. This is, we'll take a look at it here, the Formation of Mengkukuo. Basically, Mengkukuo, let's read the tooltip here. The Army Command has maintained contacts with various important personages in Inner Mongolia. Using these willing collaborators, we can set up a regime there that will keep the area quiet while we conquer elsewhere. Basically, in this area here, we're going to set up a puppet government, and let's go ahead and do that national decision now. And of course, with all national decisions, there are conditions in which you need to satisfy to be able to select the national decision. There's a Formation of Mengkukuo. Here it is right here. And later on, probably soon, here it is. No, let's go a little farther. We should have another one. Yeah, here it is. The Expansion of Mengkukuo. More land claimed by Mengkukuo has fallen into our hands. We should incorporate these lands into Mengkukuo to allow them to govern it under our guidance, which I think we need. Yeah, we're missing maybe one province. I'm not sure. And here's something you have to take in mind and under consideration. Once you conquer countries, you will have uprisings like this one. So we have to find some units to go take them out, which is a pain. I probably will bring over some of the cavalry. Remember we brought cavalry off the mainland because it was eating supply. We're going to probably have to bring at least one or two of these units back. Do we have transports here? We do. So I'm going to send probably a couple units back to the mainland to it's a little early to get partisans, but that's fine. Let's send them here, and we'll go after them. 1st of October now, and as you can see, we've made some decent progress, especially 5th Corps, which is pounding away down over here in the west, although they don't have a whole lot of units over here. Most of their line is sitting right here, most of their defenders. 6th Corps has made pretty good advances. It is now time, though, since we're over this river now, it is time to do some naval invasions to speed this up. We're going to do one here. We're going to put a whole corps here, and we're going to link up with 6th Corps and cut off this entire area, and then we're going to put another naval invasion here, another corps here, to clean up whatever units are behind our lines. So let's get that started. We have 3 corps over here, or at least 2 and almost 3. So let's take, I guess, 7th Corps. Select 7th Corps and all of their units and put them into a transport and bring them over here. Move order. And let's let them leave. And then let's get the other corps, which is 8th Corps. All of their units load into transports and bring over to the same sea zone. All right, so they do have some units here. They have just militia here in this port. Not sure exactly what they have. It looks like militia also. So let's take transport 2. Yeah, this is the guards and the motorized. We're going to put them here. Let's invade here and transport 3. Yep. Take all of those and hit that port. And the reason we're taking ports is because if you do take the port, immediately you get supply. We can bring in supply. It's a little bit more risky if you try and land outside, like into a province that does not have a port, because then you can't get supply. And then you have a really short amount of time to take that port before you run out of supply. Let's see how these look right here. Ooh, those don't look too great, but they are climbing. So we'll probably take them eventually. So, of course, taking the ports would be nice, but a secondary benefit to this is causing chaos behind the lines. As you can see, the Chinese have already started to run as soon as these, to cover this invasion. And as soon as these units are allowed to, this one's about ready to go again, but we're going to start our push again, since they're going to abandon this line here, it looks like. Let's go ahead and get some support for that attack, and then we'll push in with 6th Corps here. Across the river, we're probably going to need a little help there. Yep. There we go. I am doing some ground attacks here on both port provinces with my bombers. This one looks like it's about, this one's gonna, yep, we got that one. Great. So now that they're here, well, let's see, they're under attack. Okay, we still have 130 hours before we can do anything here. October 21st now, and another quick update. Just a few things I wanted to mention. 5th Corps is pretty much holding down our entire western flank. I'm moving down into these provinces here because instead of using 1, 2, 3, 4 units to cover this line, I can use 3 to occupy these and then push them over. 4th Corps and 3rd is all over here. Here's what's happening here. We've surrounded many Chinese units. We're just cutting them off and finishing them off here. Oh, they're trying to attack me, huh? Well, we will end that. They're trying to escape. They're gone. And, well, they will be gone here shortly. There they go. Move this one here. Move this one here. We're just cleaning up all of these units. Push this one farther south. Keep attacking. You'll also want to keep track of, at this point, you're going to want to keep track of China's surrender progress, because we need to do something before they surrender. We need to make sure they don't surrender before we can do what we need to do. So let's check our neighbors. And their surrender progress is 68% now. So we occupy 68% of their victory points. 68% of the 56.7% that we need. Does that make sense? To make them surrender. So just a little bit more, probably. We'll go back to the victory conditions. We're probably going to take Wuhan, and we're almost there. This province, this, and probably a couple of these, and then that'll be it. One last thing, is another national decision available. This is the expansion. Let me click on it here. The expansion of Mengkukuo. And we meet all the conditions. So I'm going to click yes. And it basically expands Mengkukuo with these provinces here. So this is our new puppet made out of Chinese provinces. So we have 2 now. We have Mengkukuo and Mengkukuo. November 13th now, and this is our progress so far. The western flank of our line is pretty much static because we don't have any other victory point provinces. I mean, we could push to these, but I don't think we're going to need them. So I'm going to just maintain this line here. And most of my pushing is going to be from Wuhan east. I am collecting, here's 7th Corps, I believe. Yep, we're bringing them back to the port. Same with 8th Corps. We're going to move them out and do more amphibious invasions down here pretty soon, probably very soon. But I wanted to show you this. Also, one last thing we have our first carrier that has finished production. Shikaku class, we're just going to put it right here at this port. And the others are all Soryu class. This is our first Shokaku. We're going to build probably, let's look at technology and see how close our tech is for aircraft carriers. Okay, so the next round of techs will be completed July and August next year. We can't afford to wait that long to build more carriers, so let's just put another one in the queue, maybe even 2. Yeah, that would be 14. I think we could handle that. Let's go ahead and do 2 of them. Again, keep the carrier air groups towards the bottom. We will get those later, and we're going to need probably, let's see, I've been putting some towards reinforcements because some of my headquarter units weren't looking so good. They're getting better now, but I had one of them that had like 16 men, so I thought I should probably do some reinforcements. I think what we'll do here is wait until my reinforcements are completed, and then I'm going to fully fund these other carriers. Now December 19th, and we have a few items to take care of. You can see the front here. We're actually almost done with China. I'll show you their surrender progress. Nationalist China, we're at 89.4%. We probably just need a few more victory condition provinces. We have 3. We have Nanjing, the capital, and these 2 ports over here. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to take one of them and then take a look at diplomacy again. And then we need to make a change to our war goals. And secondly, we got a bunch of, another carrier and a bunch of light cruisers. that just finished production. We're going to put them all right here. Okay, so that leaves, we have plenty of IC to do with what we want, but we're probably, what do we have in the queue? We still have 4 carriers here. Let's put in 4 more. So 4 more is 28 IC. We're going to add the CAGs, of course. And let's move the carriers up to the top. Okay, new day. And let's take a look down here. Looks like we're funding the artillery 100%. I would rather fund the carrier air groups. I'm not going to put in more light cruisers yet. We've made a pretty good dent in upgrades and reinforcements, and look at our supply is much better now. I'm going to probably, let's put the artillery towards the bottom, and let's start funding some of these air groups here. Again, I'm going to wait till upgrades are finished and reinforcements, and I'm going to put this 27 towards production, and we could, let's see, that'd be at least 2.5 of these carrier air groups that we could build. We got Grand Fleet. I think this is if you have so many naval units. So we got plus 0.15 leadership and organization regain rate, 15%. That's good. And lastly, let's do at least 1 landing. Let's see. It's going to be a little bit, I think, before I can take Nanjing. Although I do have a pretty sizable, I have 5 divisions. Seven divisions outside their capital, but we're across a river. I'm trying to get across, open province, trying to get across the river first. Let's go here, see if we can get in there, and then we'll bring in, we might as well, let's see, what was this division doing? Okay, so I'm going to bring these 2 divisions across. See if I can get them across. And then when I can, we'll take this province and then Nanjing. But right now, how much is this worth? 2 points. This is worth 1 point. Let's take this one right here. Let's see if we can. Let's see. They do have a militia unit here. And let's see. Naval base. It doesn't look like they have a fortress here. So this shouldn't be too difficult. Select the units and invade and see what our 0, 1, okay. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll get there. I think what I'll do is get some, if I can get some of my attack aircraft to come down here and hit this. Yes, I can. Ground attack, let's go. Okay, and it looks like they've abandoned this province. I'm going to go ahead and move in with both units. And then once we get there, we'll take Nanjing. And there shouldn't be a whole lot left. I think I'll just go ahead and take Ningbo right now. It's open. All right, we've taken this province, Ningbo. Let's take one more look at their surrender progress. Got to be careful here. We're at 94.6%. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to change our war goals for Nationalist China. Right now, our war goal is to win the first war and get the eastern coast of China. Well, we're going to add a war goal here, and we're going to conquer. Basically, we're just changing the war goal, conquer all of Nationalist China. We'll do that right now. Okay, then go back to your surrender progress. It shouldn't have changed much. So we should only still need a few more victory condition provinces, and we should be able to take them. We're under attack here, it looks like, from units here. That's too bad. Let's move in these divisions so we can attack not from across the river. Okay, let's get some air units here, some other air units, and start hitting them if we can. Good. Oh, looks like we took this port. Now let's look at Surrender. Okay, surrender progress is 100%. 100%. So at the end of today, we should conquer China. I'm going to go to the political map mode. And there we go. We enforced seize the Chinese coast, but not only that, we annexed all of China. Conquer nationalist China. No point in fighting anymore. Defeat at the hands of Japan leaves us no choice but to cede our entire coast to them, but it's not their entire coast because we changed our war goals right before they could surrender to include all of China, and that's how you conquer all of China. You wait until you're about ready to conquer them, change your war goal to all of China, and then just finish it out, and now we have all of China. Okay, now that we're at peace, you'll notice that once again, our consumer goods needs went way up again. Way up. So we're going to have to meet that. And we're going to have to reorganize our armies. We are going to take the first army and bring it up here and surround communist China, because communist China is next. Why are we going against communist China? Because, one, they're one of the few we can declare war on right now because our neutrality is low enough, their threat to us is high enough that we can declare war on them. And the reason we're going to do that is because we want to maintain a war economy. We do not want a bunch of our IC going to consumer goods for the next 2 years. So for the next 2 years, we're going to be producing a bunch of units, and we want a wartime economy while we're doing that. And the way to do that is to declare war on a small country, whittle it down, and then continue that war for the next 2 years while we build our forces to take on the United Kingdom. That's what we need to do. But we're done with this episode. This episode covered the war with China, and we're finished. In the next episode, again, we will move most of a first army up here, take on communist China, maintain our war economy, and build for our next war. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.